While the Arlington ladies provide a certain sense of softness and tenderness, just up the hillside from where burial services are held is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. There you can witness firsthand the formality and seriousness of what Arlington and our military stand for. In the tomb are the unidentified remains from both World Wars, Korea. Next to that tomb, every hour of every day, you'll find a guard who stands watch over soldiers known only to God.
All up! My dedication to this sacred duty is total and wholehearted. In the responsibility bestowed on me, never will I falter. And with dignity and perseverance, my standard will remain perfection. Through the years of diligence and praise and the discomfort of the elements, I will walk my tour in humble reverence to the best of my ability. It is he who commands the respect I protect, his bravery that made us so proud. Surrounded by well-meaning crowds by day, alone in the thoughtful peace of night, this soldier will in honored glory rest under my eternal vigilance.
It is a creed they live by, a call to duty they answer.
This unknown soldier here, fought for our freedom. So the least we could do is, guard a tomb for him.
And guard they have. Select members of the Army's 3rd Infantry Regiment have stood their watch at the Tomb of the Unknowns 24 hours a day, 365 days a year since they took over the duties back in 1948.
It is a goal every time. We strive for perfection.
Perfection for Sergeant Eric McGuire and other members of the so-called Old Guard comes in many forms. Perfect steps, a perfect uniform, a perfect ceremony, perfection. Anything less would be disrespectful for the unknown men they stand watch over.
Throughout my military career, I heard, tomb guards, they're the best. So that's what I wanted to be a part of. I got stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Once I got there, I was shipped to Afghanistan for my first deployment. On my second tour in Afghanistan, I was getting ready to re-enlist, and I was offered the option of the Old Guard. And, I would never imagine, a couple years ago back at Fort Campbell that I would ever have the opportunity to come to the Old Guard or, much less be at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Sergeant McGuire walks the plaza on marble that can't hide the wear marks of those who preceded him, rust left behind by the soles of their perfectly polished shoes. Every moment, every detail, a reflection of what it took to get him here.
Just say you have to go through a tryout process, which is a 2-week phase, and you get the breakdown of like working on your uniforms, plaza training, tomb knowledge, and if after the evaluation, if you have what it takes, you're offered a position down with the platoon, and then you start training, which can take 6 to 9 months. Well, our normal days are 26-hour shifts. We come in at 05 in the morning, we do PT, and we work on our uniforms and get ready for the day. Once we start the day, we conduct the guard change sequence and have guards out on the mat on the plaza, at all times. After the day ends, we also pull guard duty nights.
All day, all night, the Old Guard stands watch, back and forth, protecting the honor of soldiers known only to God.
Because of the development of DNA testing, the unknown soldier from the Vietnam War was recently exhumed and identified. It's that DNA identification technology that may mean there will never be another unknown soldier buried at Arlington. When you walk among the hundreds of thousands of headstones and markers at Arlington, it's as if that history comes alive. It's easy to forget that this is, in fact, a working cemetery. Every day, there are 25 to 30 burials. Some in Section 60 are casualties from our current conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Others are veterans who served decades ago. One of the days I was at Arlington, I was invited to one of those burial services. It was unique in that 7 United States Marines were being laid to rest more than 60 years after they died.
Every day at Arlington National Cemetery, there are moments that take your breath away, that make you realize that this is a special place, a place where tradition meets honor, even if it's almost 70 years delayed.
We're here today to bury 7 soldiers who died in 1944 on the island of Vanuatu in World War II. Their plane crashed.
For Marilyn Clausen and nearly 100 other family members, this day was a long time in the making. A homecoming for 7 United States Marines who were thought lost forever when their plane crashed in World War II. At the time, the family was told their loved ones were lost in the Pacific and that their remains couldn't be recovered. That was the reality the families lived with for more than half a century, until one day, thousands of miles away, a discovery.
Accidentally, while people were going through the jungle, they came upon the wreckage of the plane. The dog tags, there were dog tags that were found, but the names had been worn off of them. They cross-matched our DNA with their DNA bones that they had found, and as a result, they were all cross-matched, and we are all together today.
The remains of 7 Marines share a single casket as they're laid to rest with full military honors.
I know I can speak for all of us. We all have that wonderful closure. So today is not a day of grief. It's a day of celebration that we have all of our soldiers together, 7 family members together, and now we know we can carry on.
Closure for all. But for Marilyn, whose loved one, Corporal Jack Yeager, perished, she received a little something more than the other families.
During the dig, the JPAC had sifting. They had to sift through tiny little pieces of metal. And during that dig, they found his ring, and it's his wedding band. It's inscribed, and it's Jack and Helen, June 20th, 1941.
In a very real way, Marilyn carried that ring like she carried her memories of Jack here to his final resting place. Closure, homecoming, honor.
Arlington is such a sacred, holy ground to me, and knowing that I can come back and visit all of them here, and he's so close to us, that's going to be a wonderful day for all of us. We'll never forget this day.